Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to get ready to ship deeper in the ocean of the Arabic language. Be prepared to learn the tenses. Though the tenses in Arabic are little numbers, we are going to see lots of details and grammatical aspects accompanied by each tense. Arabic is one of the Semitic languages whose verbs are based on a set of 2 to 5 consonants called a root, usually 3 letters. The root of each verb maintains the meaning of it, such as قرأ, قرأ, أكل, أكل, كتب, كتب. Changing the vowels between consonants along with the prefixes or suffixes specify grammatical functions such as person, gender, number, tense, voice, and mode. Person, first, second, or third. Gender, masculine or feminine. Number, singular, dual, plural. Tense, present, past, future. Voice, active or passive. Mode, indicative, subjunctive, jussive, or imperative. Arabic is the same as English language. For example, writing, rewrote, unwritten. The basic consonant stem is WRT. Those are consonants, but the vowels, prefixes, and suffixes change to show the different grammatical form. In Arabic, there are 3 tenses. The present tense, al-mudari', the past tense, al-madi, the future tense, al-mustaqbal. The future tense is formed by adding either the prefix sa or the separate word sawfa onto the beginning of the present verb form. For example, yaktub, which means he writes. In the future, sayaktubu, sayaktubu, or sawfa yaktubu, sawfa yaktubu. The past tense often, but not always, has the meaning of the past perfective. Past perfective means that it has totally occurred in the past and the whole focus is on the time when the action happened. For example, he did and he was doing are dealt in the same way in Arabic and considered one tense. فعل, he did. كان يفعل, he was doing. There are also compound verbs in Arabic which expresses a grammatical aspect such as inquisitive, durative. For example, بدأ يلفت النظر, بدأ يلفت النظر. It started to attract attention. This conveys the meaning of to start doing something in the past and is still happening in the present. As a compound verb consisted of 2 verbs, بدأ, which is past, which means started, and the other verb, يلفت, which means attracted, which is a present. So the first one is past and the second is present. This focuses on a grammatical aspect, which is the start of an action rather than the time the action happened. Let's take these examples for verbs. كتب, he wrote. يكتب, he writes. كسب, he gained. يكسب, he gains. قدم, he came. يقدم, he comes. كبر, he got older. يكبر, he gets older. قرأ, he read. يقرأ, he reads. There are three modes in Arabic. حالات. It also means cases. The first one is the indicative case, which in Arabic is marfu'a. The word usually ends in u sound, which means we put dhamma on the last letter. Dhamma, if you don't know, is this symbol. If you are not familiar with tashkil or Arabic diacritics, check this video on the top. Indicative case also ends in the letter waw. The second case is the subjunctive case, in Arabic mansoob. The word is usually ending in ah sound, and we can notice that we have fatha on the last letter. The third case is the juzif case, which in Arabic is majzoom. In juzif case, we don't have an ending sound, just sukoon. Sukoon is this symbol, which means silence. In spoken dialects and informal Arabic, the final vowels of the indicative u and subjunctive ah are not pronounced. This makes them identical to juzif case with no sound at the end of it. The fourth case is the imperative. This case is always positive, second person, which shows a person asking the other to do something. We always go to the root to form the imperative. The root in Arabic is always the past form. We have a triple verbs like كتب, كتب, which means he wrote. غسل, غسل, which means he washed. And we have a quad verbs like أضاف, أضاف, he added. أرسل, أرسل, he sent. When we form imperative of a triple verbs like غسل, كتب, which has three letters, we add همزة الوصل, which is alif without hamza. I'll explain that in a separate lesson later. For example, غسل, he washed. اغسل, wash. كتب, he wrote. اكتب, write. You ask someone to write. In the 5 letters verbs, we also have همزة وصل. For example, اجتهد, he strived. اجتهد, strive. This is an order, or you ask someone to strive. So we notice that we have alif without hamza, and this is called hamzat wasl in Arabic. Another example, انتبه, انتبه, he paid attention. And the imperative of this verb is انتبه. انتبه. Pay attention. You ask someone to pay attention. We should always pay attention to the diacritics because they are the key to differentiate between past and imperative form. The exception to the Hamzat Wasl rule is the quad verb, verbs with 4 letters, like أرسل, he sent. The imperative form أرسل, send. You ask someone to send. Notice that one diacritic changes the whole meaning, changes the verb form from past to imperative. In the previous example, there was fatha on the top of sin, and in the imperative case, we have kasra. So this is the difference. We have fatha on the top of sin in the past form, and we have kasra in the imperative form. Arabic has 2 voices for verbs, active and passive. معلوم, this is active. مجهول, passive. Notice these examples. فعل, he did. This is active past. In the passive, it becomes فعل, it was done, and this is the passive form of the past. In the present active, يفعل, he does or he is doing. In the passive form of the present, يفعل, يفعل, it is being done. The active and the passive spelled identically in Arabic. It is only diacritics that differs.